Hey folks, welcome in for more inZOI news and updates, which will be the last time I ever say that because I've got tea to spill. There's drama. I know what you're thinking, a small channel with drama. It's wild, the things I've just discovered. I'll talk about that toward the end of the video, but right now I do have news to share with you and updates. We're gonna talk about inZOI's latest stream called inZOI Early Access Online Showcase. That's what we're here for. Yeah, let's just focus on that for right now. So this has been really anticipated because here they'll go into depth about what to expect from the early access release, including their 3D printing feature, how that works, multiplayer options, the game's pricing, and more. The timestamps below if you're thinking of skipping ahead, but I just want you to know that every time you do, an angel loses its wings. Speaking of wings, instant gaming. How does that relate to wings, you ask? It doesn't, I just couldn't think of a better segue. Instant gaming offers great deals on PC and console games, often cut down significantly from anywhere else. If you're looking to pick up your next favorite game at a discount, check out Instant Gaming. Oh, and check this out. inZOI heading to Instant Gaming confirmed? Think of me when you're grabbing yourself a copy, think of the angels. But seriously, should you decide to go there and use my affiliate code on your way there, it'll help out what I do on the channel. Also, Instant Gaming has provided our community with a giveaway in which you can win a game of your choice. You can find the links to all of this in the description or pinned in the comments below. A warm thank you to Instant Gaming for partnering with my channel. Oh god, I can't even tell a joke anymore because I just fear that... Never mind, we'll talk about it later. Alright, so in a sort of presentation style, Kjun gives us the broad strokes of what we've covered already on this channel, so I don't want to harp on old news too much here. A lot of what he goes over is, what he's addressed in his own blogs. If you're interested in following along the news cycle leading up to this event, please see the playlist in the description below. There I cover his blogs and articles that kind of touch upon most of his introductory stuff. Is that the word? Okay, so just to paint the picture here, in his introduction he goes over how he found himself creating a life sim. Kjun has over 20 years of experience working in the gaming industry, mostly in the MMO genre. Despite that, he's always been a simmer at heart. During difficult moments of his life, he would always play The Sims. He and his son really enjoyed The Sims together, and one day, his son asks him if there are any other life sims out there with the latest and greatest graphics, and as Father of the Year, he said, "Not yet," and started coding. Okay, it wasn't that dramatic, but essentially that's what happened. He talks about seasons, relationships, the environment, and how all of it's important in the creation of an immersive world that you can play and edit in. He talks about how you can collect rocks and paintings you've crafted and then sell them on the streets, so you can go full-on Venice Beach on the Santa Monica-based city, I guess. But here's where it gets interesting for me, at least. I'll cover more about this in later videos, but for this one, I do want to talk about their 3D printer. So one thing that occurred to me while looking at this feature and just hearing him talk about the 3D printer, it occurs to me that this whole thing democratizes modding. And what I mean is that it's so often that you need a degree of know-how to implement 3D objects into a game, but inZOI's built-in 3D printer feature kind of changes that with just a few clicks. We talked about how this is meant to work in my AMA video. If you'd like to know more on that, again, link in the description. But to see it in action in live play was kind of incredible. One of the examples that they had was of a witch's hat. They resized it and fit it well onto the Zoi's head, and now it's just a piece of clothing in their game. And this is all done using a single image. And I know the rhetoric and vitriol whenever we talk about like AI and using AI systems, but when we have tools that democratize the process and make tools more ease of use and empower the user, then I don't know, it's just stuff out of Star Trek, I think. Another cool thing out of this is that you can use these objects to create things into your world and have them become interactables, like furniture and objects. Again, we've talked about this in the AMA, but in this example, Kjun uses an image of his Zoi, he uploads that, and then he uses it to replace an existing furniture, like a punching bag. And so in this clip, we have a child Zoi punching the daylights out of a Kjun punching bag because of that replacement, which is amazing. Look, I have zero creativity, so I wouldn't know where to start with any of this, but imagine the possibilities that people can create. I'm just thinking, if we can upload all those interactables or our own customizable objects to the library, the Canvas library, imagine how extensive those, an object list can be. I mean, just to touch on some of the tools that they've added or plan to add, you can create custom poses, you can create motions using video, which is cool to add in your own custom dances and then have your ZOIs act those out in the game. And they're also continuing to develop their facial and motion capture feature. Keijun would also touch on relationships and how ZOI's traits determine the chemistry they have with friends and partners. ZOIs will also frequent social media, so your ZOIs can receive good messages or mostly bad, just like I get in my comment section. I am kidding, that's not true. You're all very nice to me, I think. Sarcasm is hard to read in text, but I'm sorry, it's a stupid joke. The game will support 13 languages. It's not done yet, but what they're aiming for is in this picture. It was kind of hard to read, but I think these are the languages from what I could tell. You've got English, Japanese, Chinese simplified and traditional, French, German, Italian, Polish. You got Portuguese from Portugal and Brazil. You have Russian and Spanish. All right, so let's talk pricing details here. I gotta say, I kind of was wishfully hoping they'd go this direction, especially if they were level-headed enough to take this approach. And what I mean by that is that this game is nowhere near complete, and that they'll be relying heavily on player input to determine the future of this game and of their vision. So if I'd had to price this game, I'd price it at $49.99 USD or even something less than that. However, Krafton being Krafton and Keijun's prior experience with free-to-play MMOs, I had doubts that clear heads would prevail, and I am so thankful I was wrong. As you can see on screen, the game is listed as $39.99 USD or your respective country's currency. And from what I remember, The Sims 4 used to be like $60 back in the day, no? So when you think of the value proposition that way, or even include inflation from 2014 till now, you're the consumer. Ask yourself, does inZOI give you the better value proposition or not? Either way, until early access ends, they state that any DLC and updates until then will be free. Now, I know there's tons of feelings about a AAA billion-dollar publisher having their dev team go early access and essentially using us as beta testers. I agree. Not a good look. And here's where I just push back just a little bit here. Many games enter early access from a wide range of financial situations, and yes, when Steam initiated their early access model, it was for indie devs to gain a footing in development because they didn't have multi-million-dollar companies backing them or a billion-dollar publisher backing them. That's true. But what's also true is that the model has evolved for better or for worse. If you were to take Paralive's model for earning income, it's through Patreon. I've been a patron of theirs since July 2023. I have a vested interest in wanting them to succeed, but the truth is it's going to take them much longer despite the steady stream of income because, the size of their dev team and their limited resources. I mention all of this to say that there are alternative ways to find people to back your projects that's not exclusive to early access. Now, if you think a AAA studio using early access over an indie dev team is unfair, I agree with you. But let's look at Baldur's Gate 3. The game was made from a developer-publisher studio in Larian Studios. They are a multi-million-dollar company, and they used early access for years to develop Baldur's Gate 3. We now herald that game as one of the best games ever. Now ask yourself, are they an indie dev team who deserve to use early access? I mean, what's the cutoff here? Is it a handful of thousands of dollars? Is it millions of dollars? Or probably billions. Probably billions is the cutoff. But what I know is this, okay? Solasta Crown of the Magister is another D&D game, started on Kickstarter, made its way in early access, and made its way into full release, and it's one hell of a game. But did it receive the kind of resources, mentions, or recognition as Baldur's Gate 3? Hell, do you even know what Solasta Crown of the Magister is? Before I mentioned it to you? I'll just say this. If inZOI entering early access is the trade-off to keep Krafton's paws off of monetizing everything under the sun, I'll take it. Wins don't come often in this anti-consumer world. So just really quick, let's just talk about Character Studio because this really caught my eye in how customization works here. As you imagine, as we approach early access, it is much more fleshed out than it was before. Outfit customization has been reworked and it looks really extensive. Here we see a variety of outfits that can be changed, and it'll make for more unique outfits, I think. I really enjoy how modular everything looks while still retaining a realistic fit to our ZOIs. Like when we choose different layers, it looks really believable, and I thought it was really cool to mention. All right, so let's talk about their roadmap. For May, they're going to release a mod kit. It says Maya or Blender, so have at you if you know how to use Maya or Blender. They'll be adding changes in weight and muscle adjustment. Like you'll have real-time changes when it comes to muscle adjustment. They're going to be adding in-game cheat codes. That way it'll be super easy to tell your own stories and, play the game you want to play by using cheat codes. You'll have relationship improvements, an adoption system, build mode and furniture improvements, create inZOI improvements, outfit updates, and in August, we'll have ghost gameplay, swimming pools and basements, more resources for Edit City, AI build mode. You'll have freelancer jobs worked on. I thought we had some freelancer jobs already, but I guess August will have more of them. We'll have improvements to text messages and skills, and parenting improvements. We'll also be getting a DLC Southeast Asian inspired city that I want to say is pronounced Kusinku or Kuchinku, but I want to say it's Kusinku. It says Cat Island, so I guess it's Cat Island based, but isn't that in reference to the Cat Island in Japan? But at any rate, a Southeast Asian city, get in, come on, I'm so ready for that. In October, we'll have family time. I think that's just him for his calendar. I think he probably has family time on that month. Kidding, of course. It probably has something to do with more interactions with family. Then we'll have hotkey customization, which I'm kind of bummed is not already there. Hotkey customization is like a really big thing. We'll have build mode, adjust object size. We'll have new furniture, moving homes, and then UX improvements or UI improvements, create inZOI improvements, mod updates, and then in December, we'll have a memory system, move cities. Oh, that's cool. Interaction response based on traits, build mode improvements and new furniture, create inZOI improvements, new outfits, indoor temperature, and yeah, that's as much as we've seen so far, which is quite a lot. And when you think about it, you might be a little hesitant to try to keep up with the mods that'll come out with this game. In fact, I have a feeling that maybe modders might get a headache with just how frequently this game gets updated, but hey, it's all for the love of the game, I suppose. All right, let's talk about multiplayer real quick. A question from one of the inZOI influencers asked if multiplayer could find its way into inZOI. And just then, I saw Kjun break out in a torrential sweat and succumb to heat flashes. And I don't know why this question made me laugh out loud when I heard it, because honestly, I see the comments too from people, understandably so, but you have to keep in mind that Kjun is a Sims fan. He admitted in his showcase that he's an introvert. So most of the games you'd imagine he enjoys are just single player games. I mean, Simmers probably talk to modders more often than they do their own family members. So because the thing is, you also have to take his game development history into account. To find out more on that, see the link in the description. I made a video detailing his ups and downs when making MMOs, but suffice it to say, Kjun's on record saying that he was done with MMOs, and you can infer that to mean anything related to multiplayer. So yeah, I laughed after hearing that part of it, because it's no matter how much you want to make your ideal single player game with your own vision in mind, someone's out there and they're gonna say, hey, you can squeeze in a multiplayer feature in here. And I just found that funny. He does say, he's open to it. If players really push for it, then he's more than willing to entertain the idea. He just needs some specific ideas of how to implement it in inZOI, because there's so many moving parts that's happening in the background that he's just not sure how to add it. And I'm just gonna be real with you, it's just so funny for him to talk about this, because it's he spent so much of his life doing MMOs and multiplayer stuff, and you can tell he designed this game as just a single player experience with some sharing social media aspects to it, right? When it comes to sharing, your different builds and stuff like that. That was the extent of multiplayer. And even after creating this, someone's we can do multiplayer in this. What I think is happening too is that there's a lot of GTA fan crossover, but the thing is, what I would just stress a little bit, because again, Kjun's a simmer at heart, that's where this is coming from. inZOI is a game where you control multiple households and multiple generations of people, and it's not about playing your one ZOI. It's not entirely about playing your one ZOI and then just living out that one life. It's about playing all these different lives and all these different households, and like that's kind of the idea, right? I mean, of course you can play it any way you want to, absolutely. It was just a funny thing to witness, but again, he's open to a whole bunch of multiplayer options and ideas should we come up with something, and if the player fan base is like really pushes on it, he just needs specifics on how to implement something like that in his game. But either way, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one, whatever the next one may be. So until then, I will see you then. Bye for now. All right, so for the tea, you ready for the tea? Ready for the drama? I'm just gonna say it because it has taken me for a loop, and it was probably one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had in my life. So someone stole my video and uploaded it and translated it in a different language. Now, it's not the entire video, but it is my script, and it is so eerie and so surreal. The person who even translated it used my jokes. Like, I have ad-lib jokes in that video, and they translated it and said it in their language and used my cringe jokes. You can't take my cringe jokes. Those are my cringe jokes. You can't take my cringe. But yeah, like, it's so wild. I just saw it, and it's just devastating because, like, this channel has many more, like, it's a bigger channel than I am, and I don't know what it is. I think sometimes if you're like a big channel and you want to copy another video, you would do so from a channel that is not as big as you so that you don't feel that intimidated to take their content. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to be really vague here because I sent that person an email, and you know, are you watching? I just want to say this: if you're watching at this point and you are that person, I am trying to appeal to your humanity. I mean, I get it to an extent if you're like stealing from the rich to give to the poor, but you're stealing from the poor to like enrich yourself. And I can't believe that's like, I can't believe a person would want to do that. Like, I want to believe people, I want to believe you, if you're watching this right now, you are better than that. Either one, credit me in the description, okay? You don't even have to like redo the video or anything, just credit me in the description for having used my script. And or if you don't want to do that, please just take it down, because it's devastating. Like, you work on something, you spent hours doing it, days doing it, and the ones you took, those were the ones I spent days on. And yeah, you may have used like the first 4 minutes of my script, but it's still like mine. These aren't even your opinions, like the stuff that you said. So I can't understand why you would even want that for your channel. Anyways, it sucks. And it's one of those things that, and I'm just going to be vulnerable with you guys here, I have no idea how this channel blew up. When I made inZOI videos and like other gaming videos, my intros were terrible because I just never expected anybody to watch it. I just made videos that I thought were entertaining to my friends and my family, and now people are watching my videos, and I don't know, it's bothered me, and I thought I could handle like the mental aspect of it. But I've just recently gotten over like all the rhetoric and the vitriol I've gotten from making a Sims comparison video and having to deal with that and being like, okay, whatever, I'll learn to grow past that and not take it too personally. And now that I'm seeing like people steal content too, I'm like, dude, I'm a small channel. Like, what is there to steal? I've got nothing to my name. It's stuff like this that makes you really rethink that, like, there was a time where you could post a 3-hour playthrough and have 10 people watch it and have one person say, that was a good video, thank you for making it, and it would make your entire month. And that was me for almost 4 years. And so now to have made a video that has done well, and then to see someone else repackage it, but just in a different language, maybe you're not listening. I mean, the thing is, I'm saying all this because I seen them, they're subscribed to this channel. They're subscribed. That's how I found you. You're a subscriber. And I thought that like, oh, cool, you know, you've subscribed to my channel. Maybe we can come up with cool content together. Maybe we can connect. And I checked out your channel and you're taking my stuff. So now I know you're subbed to my channel to like take my videos, and I'm powerless to do anything about it. And I could go more on that later. I did speak to YouTube support. Look, I want to resolve this amicably. I want to make sure that we can just sort of move past this. And so that I sent an email, and I'm being vague intentionally here. I'm sure you can come up with your own opinions and make your own videos, all right? It's just gonna take a little bit more work, but I know you can do that. Just Don't take from someone else who's just trying their best. Think of the good that you can contribute to the world and just focus on that. Especially because you're like a bigger channel than me. Like, you have a leg up. You should be swimming in this. Like, you don't need us to take from someone so low. Anyways, that's just my final thoughts, and I'm bummed out now. But hey, look, inZOI is cheap. Oh god. I think this channel is gonna make me lose my mind. Maybe I should just stop making videos. That might be a thing I do. At any rate, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate that. And I already said my outro, but it's true. Because of you, I have even accomplished what I've accomplished. And if I don't accomplish anything more, it was a fun ride. I appreciate that. And I'm thankful for even having the ability and the privilege to have experienced it, because I know this is a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and it never, stuff like this is just, it's not common. And I should, you know what? It happened. I'm just going to focus on being grateful. That's all. I'm just going to focus on being grateful. Okay, bye guys.